to AP Psychology 101. First question. In their discussions of the process of development, the advocates of nature in the nature nurture controversy emphasize which of the following? Of course, C, maturation. Maturation, how kids develop and grow up. Question number two. The basic assumption underlying the evolutionary approach to sexual attraction is that men seek potential mates who appear fertile. Yes, two instincts with all animals, being able to survive or being able to reproduce. So, being able to reproduce and survive. Question number three. The notion that humans' behavior is greatly influenced by unconscious thoughts and desire is most consistent with which of the following psychological approaches? Psychodynamics. This is what Sigmund Freud talked about. Question number four. In of the following, a behavioral psychologist is most likely to study the effects of token economies in establishing social skills among children with emotional disturbances. That's what behaviorists do. That's what they do. They reinforce good behaviors and they punish bad behaviors. And this is how they mold behaviors, tokens. Question number five. In studying the behavior of 5-year-olds in free play situations, a cognitive psychologist would be most interested in the children's problem-solving strategies. That's it. Cognition means, thinking, thoughts. Question number six. Cognitive psychologists are most likely to study the acquisition of knowledge, planning, and problem solving. Yes, once again, cognition. Cognitive theorists emphasize the formation and modification of schema. Schema, how we perceive everything. We have mindset of everything, which is we call schema. We will get to it later in chapter 7. But schema it's within the cognition. Question number 8. What is the correct chronological order of the following perspectives of psychology from past to present? We should always make sure that humanism comes last, because this is fairly new in the 1960s. And structuralism came first in the 1800s. In between, we have psychoanalysis and behaviorism. Behaviorism came just between psychoanalysis and humanism, which is the question number 9. The debate over whether development occurs gradually without discernible shifts or through a series of distinct stages termed continuity versus discontinuity. That's an easy one. Question number 18. Dorothea Dix was known for. Dorothea Dix in the 1847, documenting the poor conditions of mental asylum, which eventually led to their reform. Yes, they used to treat mental ill with such, inhumane way, and without heat, without food, they used to torture mental ill in the 1800s. But let's also go to the question number 11. In 1800, the activist Dorothea Dix led a movement in support of improving the treatment of patients with mental disorders who were housed in asylum. Make sure it's not B, because eliminating the policies of the institutionalization, that happens, but it came in the 1920s. It came 70 years after Dorothea Dix. The Congress closed down all of these mental institutions. Question number 12. An evolutionary psychologist would explain human desire, social interaction, social acceptance, and social affiliation due to the need of all this due to survival, achievement, individual no. So, as I mentioned, I keep saying it once over and over again. We have two basic instincts: being able to survive and being able to reproduce. Question number 13. Of the following, an evolutionary psychologist will most likely investigate the reason why many people have an innate fear of the dark. That's why prior to the 60s, scientists used to believe that kids are afraid of the darkness because we parents associate the dark with a monster or something, has a bad connotation. It turns out to be wrong. We are born with archetypes. We are born with the fear of darkness as a survival mechanism. And the question number 14, which of the following studies is from an evolutionary perspective? Study to see if women were more attracted to men who like children than men who did not like children. Yes, definitely. Once again, they want to make sure the two basic instincts, being able to survive and being able to reproduce. Question number 15. The first area of psychology to be studied as a science is known as not psychoanalysis, because now scientists believe that Sigmund Freud was not scientific. He just said stuff, without any science based. It's not statistical significance. Phrenology, of course, not. Drilling a hole in the skull. That's not science. The only science in here is the psychophysics. In psychology, Gestalt principles are used to explain perceptual organization. Yes, perceptual organization, and many painters came after Gestalt drawing. We all know this painting of a old lady, at the same time a young, beautiful lady. Depends on how you look at it. You could see a young, pretty lady, or you can see an old, ugly lady. So this all came in the same picture. That's why Gestalt say we have to see the whole picture. We have to see the whole human mind. We cannot separate humans into pieces. We have to see humans as the whole. 17, Gestalt psychologist studies how people see triangle with missing corners as complete triangles becomes of the principles of closure. Yes, the perception that, triangles that are, dotted, but they're not connected, but you see them as we move the dots closer and closer to each other. You might see the triangles are, closure, connected. Question number 18, Gestalt psychology is concerned primarily with the understanding which of the following? Perception. Yes, perception. Jan Pavlov was most well known for which of the following? Conditioning dogs to salivate to the sound of a bell. And the last question, an important difference between humanistic and psychoanalytic approaches is that humanistic psychologists believe in the importance of free will. Yes, humanists believe free will. You decide whether you want to be on drugs or not. You decide whether you want to drink alcohol or not. So this is what humanists came up with. They are against the deterministic. Deterministic, they have the opposite. That's it for now. Thank you.